Hey guys, it's Tanya McKenzie again coming to you to vlog about a child's memories of cartoons and murder. I know it's been a while, but I have a good one today. I want to talk to you about leadership and legacy. Recently, my family and I had to lay to rest another one of my uncles. My grandfather was one of 17 brothers and sisters. This was my last uncle. And it just really made some things very clear to me that I had been really struggling with since I was a kid. My grandfather is everything to me growing up. I didn't have my dad. He was the dad, the grandfather, he was everything. But I'm going to read a couple of passages for you and then chat with you a little bit about legacy and leadership. So, chapter 25. It looked like I had survived the worst of it. I made it through the shooting, the lies, the shelter, the boyfriends, the perv uncle, the crack era, and the random violence. I got through it all. Mostly, my grandfather is to thank for that. He kept my head above water and making sure that I was always safe and had a place to finish high school. It got kind of murky for a minute. My Aunt Loretta and Uncle Charles decided to dip into it. That was mostly due to jealousy, I believe. They just didn't want to see him doing nice things for anybody except them. I'll never understand that. There's always been enough food for all of us to eat. It makes no sense to use jealousy to take down other individuals, especially those that don't have, and I didn't. Nonetheless, I survived. Now I'm off to college. So we get through that. And, when you're away at college, a lot of things start to make sense. Graduated from Northridge in 99, and my mom passed away soon after that. We were having a family reunion in Mississippi at the time. I was hanging out with Ray, got the phone call, and, had to regroup. So chapter 29, I believe. My grandfather got into town the day before the funeral for the quiet hour. All of our family would have their quiet hours at Jones Mortuary in East Palo Alto. We still have at Jones Mortuary in East Palo Alto. I've been there for so many aunts, uncles, and cousins, but never thought I would be sitting there at a viewing for my mother's body. My grandfather was quite stoic, like a block of ice. This was his oldest child, his oldest daughter. I can't imagine the pain of having to bury your child. The mortuary was full, and it was unbelievable to see all these people there to celebrate her. The next day, the funeral will be held at Emmanuel Baptist Church in San Jose. I love that church. I attended it when it was only about as big as a garage, and now it's the San Jose megachurch. The blessing is that they always had time for my family. I was even married by an Emmanuel Baptist pastor. The funeral was incredibly emotional. It was an amazing service. Everybody was there to celebrate her life and lay her to rest in the most honorable way. The truth is, funerals are for show. Funerals are for the living, to give them what they need to move forward. So we put on a really good show for her, and then we had to move on. And of course, I've struggled with a lot of things, in my adulthood, but the best part about that is so many things start to make sense. So when we were recently in Palo Alto and buried my uncle, there was a moment where we were taking pictures outside of the mortuary, and these were with my older cousins, my mom's first cousins, and it was like, well, Tanya, you stand in here, you stand in for your mother. And I looked around, and I also felt like I was standing in for my grandfather, and I've had to do that a lot coming up. And that too upset me, because I always assume that, if you're a good parent and you teach your kids good stuff and you show good example of hard work and perseverance, then your kids will have that too. Absolutely not. And what I learned in that very moment, is that leadership and legacy is not something that is given. You might inherit it, but you don't necessarily hold all of the rights to it. It's not for everybody. Everybody can't carry the crown. Everybody can't wear it. They're not strong enough. It takes a lot to lead other people. You have to be motivational, and you can't buy that, and you can't demand it. It's not something you can just say, I'm the auntie or I'm the uncle, and this is what you're going to do, and this is how we're going to do it. If you have not lived your life in a way that shows example, that shows that you're worthy of that following, it is easily lost in translation. You can't buy it. No matter how much money you have, leadership is not something you can buy. If you cannot motivate other people with your words and your actions, it's lost. But we have to stop assuming that everybody is able to carry the crown. Everybody is able to lead. I guess there's a place for everything, right? There's leaders and there's followers. Some of us are born to do one or the other. And a real leader also knows when to follow. A real leader knows how to bring people together. It's not based on your title or where you think you are in the hierarchy of a family or in a company. If you cannot galvanize people around your ideas, around your efforts, what good is it to have a particular title or amount of money? We have a president right now. He has the title, but the country is split. So you have yet to be able to galvanize people around your ideas, not just your people, all people. My uncle, for instance, there was a time when he was talking to me and he was very frustrated about the nephews. He said the nephews don't respect him. They don't respect him. They don't give him the respect he deserves. And I said, you know, it's not just your title. It's, can they depend on you? Can they call you and just talk to you about stuff? Can they get honest advice from you that's not selfless? Can they come to you instead of you coming to them to borrow money? Those are the types of things that, you know, I'm a little jealous that my mom was able to do with her uncles. She could call them, she could ask them for help or just to talk to or anything. We didn't have that luxury. And it just really made it clear at that moment at the funeral, we can't assume that because someone has a particular title or is next in line in, you know, a lineage, that they deserve or will be able to be a leader amongst others in their class. It just doesn't happen that way. If you want to be a true leader, you have to lead by example. You have to know how to apologize when you're wrong. You have to be open to criticism and seeing that there's better ways to do things. You have to be able to get people around your ideas and your way of doing things and show your selflessness and understand that sometimes it's for the best of the group, not just of you. So I'm almost really grateful for that moment because until then, I was always confused and a little bit angry, feeling like, you know, the things that my grandfather had done or other leaders, they're just wasted, but they're not. Some of us have it and some of us don't. So if you have the opportunity to really lead, to help others, to galvanize somebody around a great idea, this political season is actually a wonderful time for you to test out your own leadership. Try it, but do it in a way that you are actually galvanizing and helping and supporting and not just making it about you. So again, if you haven't checked it out, feel free. A Child's Memories of Cartoons and Murder. Oh, there's so many nuggets in there, so many.